Next we have up Chris Bradley, a really neat company. Chris is the co-founder and CEO of Mana Health. His knowledge of medicine and computer science has created a platform that allows patients to view and interact with their personal health information on any device, and with great personalization, great stuff, great company. Chris, if you are around, awesome. I'm going to give you this microphone to make sure it's on the louder side.
Okay. Everyone hear me?
Yes, that's right.
All right, cool. So thank you for that. So I'll just jump right in. When they asked me to do this founding moment mini speech, I thought it was really interesting because, first of all, 2020 hindsight's always the best, best sight. And what, for me, it was never a moment, it was more of a series of moments in time. And it started with biochemistry in undergraduate. So anyone here done biochemistry? I feel really bad for you, sorry. So it's incredibly powerful, it's incredibly exciting to study, but at the same time, what struck me right away was, here's this book, 800 pages or 400 pages of knowledge. It's already old by the time I got it. It's static. I have to read it, I have to memorize it, and hopefully in another 20 years, I'll actually use this information. And for me, this was baffling. This is the information of life. This is your whole metabolism. There's all this dynamic information here. And why can't I actually make use of this more efficiently? So fast forward, that kind of set the seed. And then fast forward, I realized, we're digitizing all of this data, all of this medical data. So finally, all of this biological information that until recently has been stuck in books and files on paper and writing, things that are not very accessible and not very easy to digest, are finally now becoming accessible to machines. And so for me, what got me really passionate was I said, so here was a computer. The computer can memorize things very well, doesn't really think creatively all that well, although I know there's a lot of people probably in this room working on that, med CPU. But I saw this and I said, there's an opportunity here. How can we combine the power of machines, the power of computers, with all of this data that's being created in biology? So I got a graduate degree in computer science based on that. I was a pre-med student and a whole family physician, so they were completely baffled by that turn of events. So that was the first major turning point, which is like, what are you doing? So I got my graduate degree in computer science, and the second turning point was really not pursuing a PhD, which is the next normal thing to do after a master's graduate degree. So that was another turning point where I realized, okay, if I'm going to be doing this type of stuff, how can I have it impact patients today? I want to improve someone's life right now. If I'm going to do 4 lines of code, let them be 4 lines of code that save at least a life, or improve a life. And so that's when I took the final plunge and decided, with no real understanding of how hard it would be, to just go for it. So I started this company, Mana Health, knowing that I wanted to do something, not realizing exactly how I was going to do it, and just sort of went for it. So we worked at that, we realized, okay, this huge opportunity, forget about analysis, let's make this information more accessible to people who need it, so providers and patients. Because I didn't even realize at the time, but as a patient, as you may know, if you even can't understand this data, it's very, very difficult to digest, even if it's digitized. So that's where we decided to focus. How do we take your patient information that's now being digitized, and I want to actually mention our sponsors for this event, the New York Health Collaborative, have done incredible work. Definitely. So just to give you an idea of the amazing work that's being done here in New York, it's pioneering work. All these silos of data, the next problem. So it's digital and it's in someone's computer. They're now finally connecting it all together in one area where you can get a consolidated view of your record. So this is where, as you can see even in this mini talk, how it started evolving more and more specifically and more to something that can be actually actionable to someone. We found out, now that all this data is here, how do we get it to you, the patient? And that's where Mana Health became interested in patient portals. And so we won a design competition a little over a year ago. We won the contract, so that's what I'm doing now. We're actually building this patient portal app, and it'll be coming out soon. So everyone here will hopefully be using our product to get access to their information. And so just to tack on, part of that journey was also finding a really great co-founder, Raju Min, who's in the room somewhere. So it's never also by yourself. This founding moment, it's a process. It's not one moment, and it's not one person. It's a whole team of people. And finally, kind of waxing philosophical, I think every single morning, if you're in a startup, is a founding moment because you're building something new, you're solving a new problem, and it's just as crucial today as it was 2 years ago. And so we're recreating and reinventing ourselves every day, which I think is what really gets me motivated about this. And I highly recommend everyone try it. Thank you.
All right. Anyone have any questions? Any questions? Is that a hand, Mr. Waver? No, it's not. I want to call you out for it. That was charming. Any questions? Yes, I'm Van Whiting you. I'm coming out.
Hi, thanks very much. Are you integrating any intervention into the portal? Is it information that you're giving the patient, or is there more of a ongoing interaction with the patient and more of a intervention? And by the way, thank you.
I'm really glad you brought it up. So I wasn't going to dig in too much into the features, but the way we built this portal, and it was part of this thesis that we wanted to bring as much data to bear as possible, we allow patients to integrate a bunch of the different quantified self devices. So all the fitness devices, as well as anything with an API. So if you have the continuous glucose monitor, anything that is capturing data and digitizing it, we want to be able to have you plug that in so you can see it in the full context. So you can have a clinical picture as well as a non-clinical picture that you generate. And that's really what I'm passionate about. So absolutely.
Great. We actually have one more question I'm going to do, and then we'll move on to the next speaker.
So you kind of so you've kind of already said a little bit about your unique value proposition. Can you talk about the actual portal space? Because I know personally I've used a customer portal where I was able to talk to the doctor and whatnot, and where you stand and what's going on currently and what you're looking to do and bring that forward.
Yeah, that's a great question. That's really why the New York Health Collaborative is so important, and these health information exchanges are so important. What makes us different, and what really got me into this to begin with, is most portals connect to a single silo of data, a single medical record, EMR, and they're tethered to it. What we're doing is we're saying, no, we want you to be able to see your entire medical record, the entire consolidated view. Oh, and by the way, we're going to work night and day for over a year and a half now to make it the most engaging possible experience. So it's not enough to just slap it on there, but how do we take this information, really see how we can design that experience, and then constantly iterate that until we get it right. So those are two big differences.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. I have a very quick story. My older brother, Mike Stedman, is from a company called IMAT Solutions. It's in the healthcare data space. And he is relevant to this because I got an email from Mike about a few weeks ago. He goes, this really neat guy, you should check out Chris Bradley. And I emailed back, I'm like, hey, yeah, bro, I'll figure it out. And sure enough, about an hour later, I was like, wait a minute, he's speaking at our next event. So obviously a lot of enthusiasm for the great stuff you're doing. So thanks so much for joining us.